was that close. Look at Donovan Mitchell's reaction. That's how his season ends. Conley's three rims out. Mitchell finished with 22. The Nuggets move on.
Great job. I don't know what Jamal doing on the layup to Torrey Craig, but we'll talk about that a different time.
To be fair, I thought he was going to score. So
you missed the layup.
Now it's funny, you know, but in that moment I bet we were cussing him out the whole 6 seconds until Mike shoot the three. We are laughing right now, but it could be tragic.
And it was that close, and what a series it was, despite relatively quiet nights from them both last night. For Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell, they combined to score 475 points, the most by opposing players in a single playoff series ever. The previous record was set by Jerry West and John Havlicek in the 1969 NBA Finals, so that is a record that lasted 50 years. Here we go with our thoughts this morning, and our superstar Vince Carter is up and ready to go, and Kendrick Perkins gets up with us this morning. Guidance is going forward. I just would, Vince, like to quickly get your thoughts on Donovan Mitchell, because he carried this team in so many different ways. I feel like under different circumstances, he might be one of the most talked about players in the league. What do you see in this star being born in Utah in Donovan Mitchell?
Well, let me say this. I think prior to the bubble, your statement is valid. And what I mean is, in Utah, in the regular season, you don't see all the games that are played on the West Coast or in general because of that market. In the bubble, and of course in the playoffs, you're featured, and this is when you shine the brightest. This is when the stars and superstars shine the brightest. And I think from here on out, the market does not matter. Giannis is out in Milwaukee. That's not a big market, but he proved in the playoffs he is worthy of being featured wherever he is, and I think now Donovan Mitchell will be in that same type of category.
Every team that will go up against the Clippers now, let's start thinking ahead, because the world just keeps on moving. What chance do you give Denver of making this interesting the next week and a half against the heavily favored Clippers?
Well, the Denver showed me a lot of pride, Greeny. I mean, they was down 3-1 and fought back, so forced the game sevens and winning and close it out. When you look at this Denver team, they're well coached. I love the guys that they have around them. They're tough-nosed guys. You look at a guy like Jeremy Grant. He's a guy that I figured could match up with Kawhi Leonard. He's not going to stop Kawhi Leonard, but he could slow him down. Then you got Jamal Murray, a guy that is a certified bucket, a baby Gilbert Arenas in the making. And then you got best center in today's game. I don't know who the Clippers is going to be. He can take you inside out. He got a nice, very nice touch around the basket. I was like, played installed a great defense last night. So I'm looking at the series could go 7, but I'm giving a slight edge to the Clippers.
Okay, 7 games would be interesting to watch. You know, Vince, if I could, I just would like to ask, that final sequence is so crazy. I don't know what the craziest sequence you were ever on the floor for was, but how would what it's like when you're out there and it's going back and forth, and in this case, literally the entire season hangs in the balance. Those seconds on the court, what is that like being out there? Because that's one of the craziest finishes we've seen in a long time.
Well, when I say this, and I think Perk can agree with me with this, when you're in this situation, particularly in the playoffs, that's when your veterans, if you can have them on the court, are of value, because you want to, first of all, you want to settle everyone down. Even though it was a transition play, you want to clear it out as much space as possible for Donovan Mitchell to do what he needs to do, either to get downhill or to pull up for 3. I think everybody was just so erratic, and there was a lot going on to where, you know, he started dribbling into traffic, and you could see the help side was kind of cheating over. And then when you get, after the Steelers, man, you get down there, Jamal Murray, I tell him, like you heard Jokic say, or Coach Mike Malone said, I would like to see him pull the ball out. We're winning. We want to hold the ball and make them foul us and close the game out. So things like that are something I would say as